Alright, kind of a response video to Professor Anton. Well, I shouldn't say that, a reaction video, because he doesn't really communicate with me anymore. And Zeta Jones, guy girl thing. Whatever. Observation, I did see the other video, the Zeta video last week, and, I reacted to it too. It just makes you want to react in a way. This idea of, what's the implications of living forever. And his thoughts were so positive, like somehow life is just so kick-ass that you'd want to do it for a really, 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 really long time. And theoretically, at 21, I could do a few decades. 21. Even it'd almost be nice to have the intelligence I have now and be 13 again. We should be able to navigate the world so much wiser and more effectively, maybe. So it's hard to say what the perfect time of life is and what the perfect state of mind even is, because there are liabilities to intelligence. It's not exactly all free. Some of that knowledge takes away the simplicity, the blissful ignorance kind of bullshit. There's certainly life is for the retarded, in my opinion. You got to be a little bit retarded to want to be able to get too caught up in it, once you understand what psychology is, and what's really motivating you and driving you, and how pitifully superficial so much of it is. And but ideally life, you should live as long as you want to, kind of a thing. I mean, I suppose, the problem with the reproduction thing would be easy to solve, and just say that if you reproduce, then, you have to bail out after 100 good years or something. Some sort of rule like that. And so that would certainly discourage people from having kids. But life is pretty much a routine. I mean, I've got parents who are really old, 90s, just about. A little over, maybe. Half and half. Anyway, they wake up each day with an agenda and something to accomplish, and but it is kind of samey. It's a routine, year after year, month after month, day after day kind of thing. I could see myself falling into that too, where you enjoy doing something and just keep doing it perpetually. It's not obnoxious, but it's I certainly Professor Anton seems to always argue from some sort of native position, as if nature has a brilliant plan for us, and nature's plan is stupid. Dying sucks. Okay, I mean the fact that you have to murder the body to get out of here is the shitty part. And if it was just a matter of you being here and then you not being here, there's so many ways to get comfortable with the idea of death. I guess we do experience a hunk of it. You go to sleep and you're not dreaming, you're dead. Consciously, as an entity, as a player on planet Earth, you're effectively gone. And it ain't so bad, is it? It's not a horror. But dying is often a horror. Really horrific. Horror, horrific. That would go together. And any way to avoid that would be the thing to avoid, really, is to take the horror out of dying, to create a process or system, or however you want to describe it, a mechanism, where, we just don't waste all this energy killing the body when the mind's ready to go. And the ready to go thing is just so easy to create in a way. I mean, like I said, you can pick life apart, and you can sort of figure out what it is, and you can kind of see that, you didn't exist for an eternity, almost, maybe possibly an eternity, and you weren't in hell. You weren't in some horrible place. Being dead isn't so bad. It's not like you're going to sit somewhere and just be, oh, I wish I could have. Oh, I wish I had finished. I wish I had blah. I mean, and it's mostly just about a psychologically contrived boogeyman. That we're raised into this fear of our non-existence. And even if we thought of it as more of a mechanical thing, like if there was some sort of automatic process and you just disappeared on your 30th birthday, you just gone. We'd adapt to that without much problem, I don't think. Because life really is about doing the experience thing. And I'd argue that it's kind of like the best part of life is doing that acquisition of experience. And, once you've done that a bit, it does get kind of samey, kind of, you can lose a little bit of your passion for it unless you really have a project, unless you have a mission, mission from God. Like if you're working on a cure for something or you're working on some kind of technology and, I only need a year or two more and I'm going to get there. And so, you'd like to finish your work kind of thing. And so there's always some kind of work that always needs to be done in the world. I mean, the world is a mess. It needs advocates to fix things. It needs people to do the arguing. And so that's sort of what I've contrived a mission out of. But just the regular living stuff is kind of become quite useless to me. I don't have a whole lot of use for life. I still enjoy a good meal and some sort of let's see, what do we call it? Romantic activity. Even if it is kind of singular. I still got those passions, but I have them in a different perspective, in that I kind of understand it's a catch. It's not a game you win, okay? Those are things where, you're going to be hungry again tomorrow, and you're going to be horny again tomorrow, and you're going to want more, and you're going to become complacent, and, it's, the grass is always greener in the other yard or whatever, over the septic tank or some kind of bullshit. You're always going to think you're missing something until you get it, and then you'll say, why the hell do I want it? It's, life is porcupiney. It's not just some little soft, smooth thing. So death is sort of a I don't know why, part of me just doesn't want to concede any part of Professor Anton's argument, because it's just, to me, I just think it's just nonsensical to advocate for death just because nature does it. That's just stupid, because it's part of the DNA plan. But, I didn't reproduce. So in a way, if it was up to me, this would be the last of it. There wouldn't be any more of it. It wouldn't be just me dying. It would be all of humanity that dies if it was up to me, because obviously I have no personal incentive, and I see no necessity, because I understand that the need's just all in me. I created the need that gets satisfied. I am the hole that needs filling. I am the crack that needs healing. I'm the disruptor in existence. I'm the thing that needs the feeding. And if you take me out of the pictures, there's no crying, there's no feeding, there's no need, there's nothing to fix. Everything's fixed when the need machine isn't breaking it. And so I did want to get more into the idea of the psychology of what you see when you contemplate death. And like I said, for a long time, it hasn't meant much to me. Just because I understood it as psychology. It's just something, we're addicted to the living thing, we're caught up in it, and we are conditioned to have this negative connotation tied to the idea that it ends. And I just think it's a contrived negative. It's not a real negative. And so I just think it would be you could just have arbitrary numbers for when people die. But it would be great to get rid of the aging thing. Get rid of the deterioration thing. I'm telling you, it's no fun getting old. There's no charm. This is all a pile of hype. I mean, yeah, you're saying, what are these people trying to sell? Life doesn't get better. Fuck that shit. There's nothing fun about aging. It just isn't. So I think that's just such crap. So it'd be great to get rid of that shit and just spend most of your life in some sort of optimum performance, peak performance kind of state of being. And, if we could find some way to equitably spread out the retirement thing. Because that's another catch here, is that, a lot of people pay into the system, they play the game by the rules and all that crap, and then they die before they ever get those golden years. They don't get retirement years. So all they get is, 50 years of work and die of a heart attack. And that's kind of bogus. And so there's lots of ways to manage what we are living, things, how we live, what consciousness is caught up in. And I don't think there should be any... I don't think there's any logical reason to sit there and narrow things and say that would be definitely a bad thing if that happened, because I think it just matters on how it happens. I think you can live forever as long as you change the way you live. And I think you could also live for 10 weeks. As long as you change what it means to be alive, that would be okay too. I mean, what if you were able to raise a human being up to like 21? You could give them seed knowledge, like give them full knowledge of physics, chemistry, science, all that kind of stuff. Just put it in their brain, through some mechanism, like a transfusion from a brain that knows that you just, create the same neural patterns in the new brain. And, you just have a 10-week adventure of, having basic scientific knowledge and then learning, human interaction and having adventures. Even that wouldn't be a horror. It's hard to... There really is no horror as long as you take out the suffering. If you take out the dying hard and unpleasantly, you take out the brutal life experiences where, again, that's part of what death is, though, is death is removal from people that need and are dependent on other people being there. The worst part, almost, maybe entirely, of death is what happens to the infrastructure you're part of. You essentially create a big giant pothole in the road other people have to travel. Other people that became dependent on your existence. And that's one of the biggest liabilities of it. So when Professor Anton romantically talks about this stuff, it's just that. He's not considering the real Holocaust that is orphaned children and all the other crap that comes with this death crap. Dying sucks. Yeah, death, when it's chosen at the right time, at the right place, when it's a good day to die, as a Native American might say, then yeah, sure. I just don't, there's no glory in any of this. Life is just stupid. That's the bottom line. Like I said, as much as there are some really great parts of it, the basic concept is bullshit. It is just consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, and addiction. And if you just take the consumption and addiction part, the two end words, it just says it all. That's all we're here to do, basically, is maintain the body. That's what we're built to do. And you keep it distracted, keep the little brain chasing, keep it running, keep it, keep it moving, and it's not much of a blueprint. So anyway, enough of the video. So, change the lighting just because it's sort of a mood video. But yeah, it's all just in the head. It's just a psych game. So you could be afraid to die one day, and the next day you could say, yeah, I can do that, no problem. It's just changing your focus, changing on what you're seeing when you look at it. Frankenstein might have a real pretty butt, but he's got an ugly ass face. It just depends on what part of his body you're looking at. Something like that, anyway. So, yeah, enough of it. Till next time. Sorry, a little allergy thing.